Never been in one of those, but been watching like Kill Tony on the TV lately every Monday night. So it's a podcast this dude does, man, and it is freaking hilarious. So we went to one last night and yeah, it was pretty good, man. I'm in Austin, Texas, for if anybody doesn't know, and if you guys are out here, we could definitely link up at some point. But in Austin, I guess it's like becoming like LA. So we're just at some random open mic. I wouldn't say it's too random. Joe Rogan owned the spot. It's called the Mothership. And freaking Ron White just randomly drops in. I mean, this is like a $10 night. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm just sitting there, having a good time. I don't really get out a lot. I don't do too well with big crowds. It's not that I'm weird or anything. It's just, people is just something that you can't control. Right. And I want to talk about that as well today a little bit. But man, Ron White was killing it. There was probably about 30 different open micers up there, and they were doing such a great job. And I was sitting next to this guy, and the guy was just like beating on the table, all loud and stuff, acting all crazy. And I'm just kind of like, damn, I can't let this dude ruin my night. I mean, he's like biting his nails and like spitting like, tuh, tuh, like next to me, right next to me. Like the old me would have just like looked at him, said something, maybe caused a scene or something like that. But I realized, not everything is in your control, but you also don't have to let other people or other circumstances like take away from the night that you're having. So that was just a big gem that I got that night. And literally it really results into some of the sales experience that we're having on the phone as well, because maybe you're having a really good conversation on the phone. And at some point, right, during your conversation, the client just doesn't have the buy-in, right? Like maybe you quoted them, the price is good. It's like $20, right? Definitely affordable. But the guy's just not buying in to it. He just doesn't trust you for whatever reason. Like nothing you say will be able to close the deal, right? That's not necessarily something that we're going to have control over. So some of the key, I guess you could call them virtues to possess while you're doing telesales, is not desiring an outcome, a specific outcome. Like to desire a sale, you guys will go crazy, right? But if you desire just showing up every day and being the person that is going to close the deal, the same person who closed the deal yesterday or the day before, or whenever your last sale was, that same person is who you need to show up as every single day on the phone, right? So we should be desiring to have that same level of enthusiasm, that same level of activity that got us that result, instead of just worrying about making sales. Okay. Because if you just worry about the outcome, that's totally out of your control, right? We can't control what we can't control. I think there's like a prayer or a saying, right? Like, God grant me the courage to change the things I can and the wisdom to know the difference between the things that I can't. I know I butchered that. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's a great saying. And it's like, also another thing about that is knowing the wisdom between the things you can or you can't control, right? A sale is not something we can control all the time. It's not. Some gurus will tell you, yeah, you can close anybody, right? I highly disagree. And anybody that thinks differently, I will personally show you that you cannot close, even if the deal makes sense, the best numbers. We have trouble closing ourselves every day, right? We know not to eat sugar, snacks, candy. We can't even close ourselves not to keep those things away at some points of time, right? But it's just a natural thing. So what are some things that we can control, right? How many calls that we take during the day? How many calls do we make during the day if we're doing outbound, right? We definitely can control our attitude on the phones. Matt King is another RSD with us, and he'll even take it to the extent to where if he just doesn't feel it for the day and he's made his activity numbers or his KPIs are hit for the day and he's just not feeling too well, he's just going to hop off the phone and he plays like a music or like some kind of song, right? What I do is I just drop and I go work out. Like that fixes my mood. It's the only thing that fixes my mood, really. I used to smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke anymore. So, that's just what I used to do. Not that that makes it any better, but I'm sure we all have something that can, shift our mindset into a more positive direction before we pitch on the phone, right? Another thing is banking, right? So I want to role play a little bit of this banking really quick. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I'm moving my stuff around. So sorry about the way the camera is and all that stuff. You guys got to look at the side of my head for a little bit here. So I'm going to go into the script here. And have you guys seen the new resources portal? Yeah, a little bit messing around with it. Jeff dropped a video too. What I want you guys to like really lean towards is this magnifying glass up here on the top right. And I'll just use it for today, for example. Let's just type script. See what happens. So you got an outbound script, it looks like. So yeah. So I'm going to just go through the script here. We're not looking for anything perfect. But I am going to also try and do a little bit of rebuttals on this as well. So, Kenny, I'm sure I can get you approved with American Amicable. And assuming that I can, which plan is best for you and your budget to leave to the beneficiary? So here we've already done the amounts. You probably want me to do the amounts too. So we have a price for every budget. So I'll give you 3 options to start, Kenny. Now, we don't assume that you don't want the maximum amount available to you. So I'm going to start there and then we'll work our way down. Guys, it's important that we say this slowly because they will hang up on you if you just say 40,000, 300 bucks, click.
Totally.
Right. So make sure they understand, like, listen, man, I don't want to assume that you don't want the most amount, like a check to Susie for $40,000, Kenny. Actually, I lose some of my clients because they didn't even know that 40,000 was available to them. So I'm going to make sure you know that a $40,000 benefit is available to Susie. And that price is only going to be $183.55 with Mutual of Omaha. Notice the pause. What you want is their buy-in here. I'm not going to push too hard on the max offer, guys, because if they can't afford it, it doesn't do anybody any good, honestly. So if they can swing it and they're just like, yeah, actually, that sounds pretty good. Let's see if we can get you approved for it, you know? If they say that, go straight into the application. Skip all this. Okay, what's a good address to send it to? Right? And then you're leaving the script and going into the application at that point. If they don't say anything, and you made sure to at least pause for like a good 3 to 5 seconds, Kenny, the next option available is going to be the option that we talked about. Everyone knows that's the recommended amount, right? Whatever amount you recommend to them to cover whatever their final wishes are. Maybe it's a casket for 12,000. Maybe it's a cremation for 5,000. Maybe they just want 10,000 and they already have their burial taken care of and they just want to leave 10,000, right? So the next option available, Kenny, is going to be the amount that we discussed, which is the 10,000. And I'll have all 3 of these already ran, the 40,000, the 10, and the 5. And that for that, Kenny, it's going to be $48.29. Okay. And then I won't pause here and I'll go to the third option. So the third option, Kenny, this is the price that we talked about would just be like the minimum, right? That even if something happened to you, I know how much Susie means to you and you don't want her to have to pay out of pocket for any of these expenses. And that would only be $25.75. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they say something like, go back to the middle option again, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's I do that meticulously. I'll only pause at the max offer because it's just like throwing the bait in the water, right? You're just trying to see if like maybe you get a nibble on it. And then for these 2, sometimes I don't wait for permission. But like Kenny said, they're going to pick out of those, right? If they don't, well, we're just following the script. Well, now I'm pretty sure I can get you approved with Mutual of Omaha. But assuming I can, Kenny, which plan is best for you in your budget to leave to Susie? Go ahead, Kenny.
You know, I think I'm going to take the middle option.
Hey, that's a great choice. You know, that is
10,000 plan B or whatever they, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. That is definitely the most popular option. That's the one that most of my clients, I hate this word, most of my clients choose. And I feel confident that it is the best option for you at this time. So how do you want your name to appear on the policy? Or what's a good address to send the policy to?
My home address would probably be best, Anthony.
Perfect. So now you're just, right, you're transitioning into the application at that point, right? So it's like we know what to do, we know what to say, but sometimes we let our feelings get in the way of making a sale. And you'll notice, like if I were to show some of your guys' calls to yourselves, you'll be like, dang, why did I say all that? Because you'll present the rate and you'll be like, talking yourself out of the sale. You know, like the next option is 10,000, and that would only be $48 a month. That is with Mutual of Omaha. They are an A-rated carrier. You know, they've been around forever. You can always, you know, you can always go up or down on the amounts. You know, it's really up to you. What do you think about that? Those are all sales killers. What do you think about that? You can always go up or down. You're caught when you talk too much in this part of the script, guys. You might accidentally slip up and cost yourself the sale because you're going to cause confusion. I can go up and down on the amounts. What? Now you're making them think. All right. So the goal here is literally just to be an educator, and all the best insurance agents that I've ever helped coach, train, worked alongside with have always been teachers. I don't know why until now, until, you know, I was talking about this section about, you know, maybe over explaining stuff a little bit too much as opposed to educating them. Remember, guys, all your talking points are done in the needs analysis. All right. This right here is closing. So you're shutting the door to any thinking that they may or may not have, right? You're getting the buy-in at this point. So once you're in the application, right, you've hopefully earned the right to ask for these important pieces of information, the Social Security and the banking. And the reason I bring this up is because even if you've done sales in the past, it's not very common that you need someone's Social Security number on a sale, right? Let me see, where am I at? Okay. So we're going to role play really quick the banking. I'm going to keep this screen up here.
Hey, yeah.
Let me see. Too expensive.
Yeah.
We won't do the objections right now. The one thing I want to take you guys to take away from this is a banking thing, and I do have something in mind for this role play here. So, Kenny, you want to role play? I only see your camera on. Guys, what's up, man? Where's the cameras at? Everybody, get out your comfort zone. Yeah, we can run it real quick. So you're gonna ask me for banking and how you do it on every call, man. And you've made sales before, so I know you know how to do it. So I adopted a formula.